Is China lying about its 5% economic growth as its property sector, which is 30% of GDP, has collapsed? Well, look, am I the right person to ask this? Because I can only give you the right answer if I have the actual data, facts, statistics, and figures in front of me. But I don't, right? I'm not in the Chinese government. I'm not at the level of Xi Jinping, who knows everything that's happening in China. So I can only guess. And then I can only speculate. So I don't know. That's the answer. Look, I don't know. If somebody claims they know what's happening, they're lying to you. Please understand this. This data, these facts and figures are only available at the highest echelons of the Chinese government, Chinese Communist Party. Some people claim that the property sector has collapsed and whatnot. How do you know that? There are issues with the property sector, um, because of social reasons more than anything else. See, property is quite cheap in China. Everybody has one child. Okay, everybody has one child. Property is super cheap. So everybody buys, let's say, a flat. Everybody buys a flat. So you have one child, let's say you have a boy, and you bought a flat. Now you say that I have extra money and my boy is growing up. So when he gets married, I want him to have his own flat. So you buy another flat. So now you have two flats. Now let's say there's another family who have a daughter. They also have good money, decent money. They have a flat. The girl is growing up. They think, okay, let's buy a flat for her so that when she gets married, she will have a flat. Now she has a flat. The boy has a flat. They get married. There's an extra flat somewhere, right? So there's so many flats like this that are lying empty. It's because property is cheap in China and people can afford things. The purchasing power of the Chinese yuan is quite a bit. Food is super cheap in China. Lots of stuff is super cheap. So we have to look at it from a Chinese lens, not from an outsider's lens. If you want to do justice to your analysis, if you want to be fair in your assessment. So I think there are nuances in everything. I think there is a tendency, especially in the West, to demonize China. There is also a tendency in India to look at China from a perspective of suspicion and enmity. And for that, the Chinese are responsible. Okay. But if you really want to understand the world, you have to look at it from a proper perspective. And I think it's more than what it's made out to be.